Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my budget Nectar Cardfight Vanguard deck profile for standard format February 2019. This is the next budget deck I wanted to do in the long line of clans for standard format that I still have to try out budget decks for. Wanted to focus on this one more for the fact that the token concept for Nectar is a very interesting key play for the deck. Wanted to see how well they could do without some of the more expensive cards for the deck, being the triple rare and Vanguard rare Musketeer cards for the whole deck. And just see how the double rare and rare cards could, muster up for it, just being a much easier version of the deck to create for people looking for a more budget play style. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for your main grade 3 in this version, 4 Maiden of Trailing Rose. With this one, you have a Vanguard or a Rear Guard effect. When placed, you call up to 1 plant token to rear. If this unit is on Vanguard, you may call up to 2 plant tokens. Plant tokens being the 5k power, so easy rear guards to create with all your different Nectar abilities, with Maiden of Trailing Rose having a very nice one, and then also a once per turn Soul Blast 1, and 3 of your plant tokens get plus 5,000 till the end of the turn. So being able to boost them up to a 10k power just helps for overall attacks, that they can hit a lot of rear guards for sure, and also just being able to be a good boost, whether it be to your Vanguard or your rear guard, and the fact that you can just keep on riding or calling Maiden of Trailing Rose just helps to build up your force markers as well, getting your Vanguard strength, and also just being able to power up rear guard columns as well. And then for the backup grade 3 for the budget version, I run 4 Exploding Tomato. Really do like that this card has a force marker. I really don't like when I have to include grade 3s that do not have one. It just makes riding it seem kind of like a waste, since you're not getting any other benefit from it aside from the card's own abilities. With Exploding Tomato, you have a once per turn retire 2 plant tokens, draw a card, and this unit gets plus 10,000 until the end of the turn. So it's a retire cost. If you set up your plant tokens with Maiden of Trailing Rose and you have plenty of them to use, you can use Exploding Tomato for that retire to draw into more potential cards you can use for your plays, and then also just giving a plus 10,000. I like that both Maiden of Trailing Rose and Exploding Tomato also both work on Vanguard and Rear Guard with these abilities. And on Rear Guard, Exploding Tomato has the additional ability at the end of the battle it attacked, you retire this unit and call up to 2 plant tokens to your rear guard in the back row, just giving additional support for some of your other attacks. If you attack first with a rear guard, they both just really complement each other as well, with Maiden of Trailing Rose having a Vanguard exclusive ability, and Exploding Tomato having a rearguard exclusive ability, but both also sharing in the fact that they both have Vanguard or rearguard. It's very versatile that you can use both of these grade 3s together in the deck. It's one of the main reasons I was so excited to do a deck profile on budget Nectar, for the fact that they just have a really amazing grade 3 lineup for being so easily affordable. And then for the grade 2s, I run 4 Spiritual Tree Sage Immersal. With this one, it is a rearguard effect. When placed, if you have 2 or more grade 0 rearguards, you counterblast 1, draw a card, and all of your units in the same column as this one get plus 5,000 until end of turn. It's just a good early game setup for sure, being able to get that draw power and power to your rearguard columns for sure, getting that with if you have the token setup. If not, late game just as well. If you have more tokens with some of your grade 3 calls, this card is definitely beneficial overall for that call and counterblast. Since your grade 3s don't use any counterblasts at all, it could be one of your main focus for sure in the deck for your counterblast plays. And then also I run 4 Lily of Valley Musketeer Kaivant. When placed, this unit gets plus 5,000 until the end of turn for each of your grade 0 rear guards, just being another power play on rear. This one and Immortal don't have any Vanguard effect, obviously, so most of the time your grade 2 ride is just going to be just for a 10k body that can be very defensive against any of the Excel or Protect decks that run the 9ks for sure. But the plus 5, very, very helpful with Kaivan, just giving that power, and then with your additional power plays for your grade 3s and their force markers, you can hit some pretty big numbers for sure with this card as well. And then for the backup grade 2, I run 3 Iris Knight. I was debating between this card and then the 10k vanilla with the 10k shield. For just the additional, shield power when you're playing on the defense, I decided to go with Iris Knight just for the +3 when it's boosted, since it's almost a guarantee that you'll always have a token on the rear guard to boost this card for some more stronger numbers. It's, in the end, just player preference, really, what you would prefer for the deck. If you would like a more defensive card, you can go for the vanilla with the 10k shield, or you can stick with Iris Knight for more of a boost kind of play. They're both 10ks in the end, so that power isn't affected. It just comes down to if you want a more offensive kind of card or a more defensive kind of card. And then that is it for the grade 2s. Like I said, none of the grade 2s in the deck really have any Vanguard effects. One of the negative things about the budget build, I would say. But other than that, still very powerful for the rear guard plays, which is the main focus, obviously, of the Neo Nectar deck overall. But for the grade 1s, I run 4 Dandelion, Musketeer, Mirka. I decided, what counts as budget would be anything double rare or below. So triple rares and Vanguard rares don't apply for the budget deck profile, but double rares are fair game. For Mirka, it has a Vanguard or rear guard effect. When placed, you Soul Blast 1 and call a plant token to rear in the same column as this unit. So a very easy call for a plant token, set up early game, especially if you're able to ride into Mirka. And then it has a rear guard effect. When your other rear guard is placed in the same column as this unit gets plus 3,000 until the end of turn. So just that power boost for Mirka on rear definitely does come in handy. The fact that you can use it on Vanguard is just an additional bonus for sure for that plant token effect as well as rear. So a definite 4 of, just for the fact that you'll have those constant token calls along with your grade 3 token calls. And then I also run 4 Fruit Basket Elf. This one also, the grade 1s are very, very important for a lot of your key plays in the deck. It is a Soul Blast 1 and retire this unit to call up to 2 plant tokens to rear. And if your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater, those plant tokens get a plus 5,000 boost until the end of turn. This one, early game on rear, works very, very well with Immortal, since she just sets up the 2 tokens to have for the grade 0 cost for him to get his draw. And like I said, he takes up most of the counterblasts. You have nothing else really to worry about with that, as long as you have this setup and you're getting, rear guards with Fruit Basket Elf's sacrifice. So not really a waste at all there to have just the powers split up from an 8k to 2 5ks as well for the deck. And then I also run 4 Corella Dragon. Decided just to go with these numbers. Show one thing that I might change, just preference-wise with the next grade 1. But I do like 4 Corella Dragon for a rear guard effect. When your other rear guard is placed by your card's ability, this unit gets plus 3,000 till the end of the turn. So you can get a pretty strong booster or attacker with Corella Dragon, just if it's on your field when you start calling your setup. So being able to get it early game set up on the field, then just have other units to call, and then obviously having more rear guard spaces open also when you sacrifice your other cards because of your units. In this case, example, Exploding Tomato. Very, very helpful just to keep on reusing those boosts each and every turn for Corella Dragon. And then I also run 2 Knight of Co-Prosperity, Craig. All your plant tokens in the same column as this get plus 5,000. So this one's more of just a guaranteed plus 5,000 for your tokens. So you have that guaranteed boost if your rear guards are already set up, obviously. Was debating if I wanted to go 3 of this unit and then 3 Corella Dragon. Decided against it for the build, just for the fact that Corella has that potential to get the plus 6 boost and the fact that it is an 8k unit. So most of the time, if I had more Craigs in the deck, I fear that I would end up having to ride this card, which it does have the Vanguard boost as well for the token. So if you can set up a token on rear, but honestly, I don't see why you would obviously call Mirka to rear when you had the potential to ride it, aside from the fact that it would get the plus from the token boost. And then that is it for the grade 1s. Moving on to the grade 0s. For the starter, Broccolini, Musketeer, Kira. Excuse me. Just the generic starter, like all standard decks, the Rotopon, draw a card. And then for the trigger lineup, decided to stick with the 8 critical. So 4 Chestnut Bullet and 4 Daniel. One thing with the budget build, just for more hand consistency, if you want to go 6 draws and 6 critical, you can do that as well. Just player preference there for sure. Just take out 2 of the criticals, obviously, for 2 additional draw triggers. But for the draw trigger, 4 Maiden of Blossom Rain, pretty affordable, perfect guard for sure. So wanted to stick with them for the perfect guards, so you can keep your grade 1 spots open up as much as you could. And lastly, also the 4 Watering Elf as the standard heal for the deck. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. In the description, also in the comments, if you see any or want any other budget deck profile for any of the clans we have out currently in Standard, just comment down below which one you'd like to see, and I'll definitely take it into consideration. But until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.